I mean, look, Aki saying this is just going to how to work. This is just a good way that this works, and we have no issue with this whatsoever. OMG are happy to get something that's just stable in that jungle. Getting something like the Sejuani just gives you that initiation. It almost guarantees that you can be a lot more flexible moving forward into this game. I like they're also kind of denying the Lulu here as well, because they're kind of saying, like, yo, if we get this away from you, but not going to happen. They're going to say, right, we're picking up the Annie. Could be an Annie mid, could be an Annie support. They're keeping that flex for themselves.
Yeah, the flexibility is very much valued there. I was actually wondering if you do that Lulu takeaway, because it is so obvious that it goes alongside the Zeri nowadays, because you can lock in something like either Aphelios or Sivir. Both of them do very well. On the other side, kind of Lulu's support pairings. IG, though, maybe looking to get something Dove out, get Dove out of lane a little easier. That's going to be the Galio locked in. LPL Galio has been just forever present. We love this champion here, and now having the Lee Sin as well. Gideon, if he goes the proactive plays, at least he'll have some way to be followed up on a lot easier. I don't necessarily like it from IG in regards to putting Gideon on the front foot again, rather than letting him be a counter ganker, but at least they're giving him something else to play with this champion.
Yeah, and look, this is already for me, IG saying we are going for topside priority. We are getting ourselves something that can work. The Yone locked in again. That is going to be tough for Dove to try and deal with now. The Galio not going to have the best of times, you would imagine, going into that particular matchup. But now you can see here, OMG are recognizing, okay, well, our next few bans are going to be towards our top side, because IG, you very much laid out on the table. We are going to try and make early plays happen in the top half of the map.
Yeah, Galio, Lee Sin, they head topside pretty quickly. So OMG maybe banning away the Fiora on this second round ban as well. That could potentially be an option for them. Allow Shanji to go towards something. Well, okay, so he's played a lot of Cassante, which is a weak side champion. That's not great on the current patch. It's been nerfed fairly heavily. And that's why IG, I think they are actually banning away a lot of the kind of more survivable champions that you can't dive as easily. Renekton being taken away. Maybe they can look towards banning away Sion as well. That could be another option. Just stop Shanji having a champion which is so hard to break open in that top side if they're going towards YSKM getting ahead in a 1v1 matchup.
See what they end up prioritizing now. The first pick. You imagine it's an AD carry here for OMG. They want to try and maybe leave that Shanji pick for the last one. Gives you that priority into that lane. And the Aphelios coming in here. So late game insurance versus late game insurance. Both bot laners just kind of having a handshake right now and saying nothing's really going to happen.
Okay, that's a little interesting. What you are looking for now from OMG is to have a way for Aphelios to survive the initial dive. He wants to be stood behind where the Galio is going to be ulting and then just absolutely explode them with his ult and his weapon combinations after that point. Aphelios, particularly on the 2-3 item combos nowadays with the itemization changes, 2 items very, very strong for this AD carry. With the Annie support alongside him, has some ability to kind of play around very big explosive team fights. It's actually going to be YSKM picking up that Fiora. As we've known to be, it is one of his specialty champions. But they draft, which allows IG to go topside. Shanji, you have to have something which can be undivable at this topside. Something that can outplay in the 1v2, the 1v3 situations. What you got for us?
I mean, the Darius would not be terrible. I will say it does leave you very heavily reliant on AD. You are not got a huge amount of AP burst damage. The Annie does a bit, but definitely not significant enough. And that Darius is locked. It's like 2016 Worlds all over again. We're getting Darius versus Fiora in that top side. And this is very much a skill matchup. It's going to be on YSKM to plan out where these riposts are going to be the most useful.
It was 2015 Worlds, Asheen.
Sorry, apologies.
In fact, we were both there in the quarterfinals. I think that was one of the first live league events.
Yeah, I went to every quarterfinal. This is the sad thing. I went to every quarterfinal day because back in 2015, I was a really big TSM fan. I was like, they're going to make quarterfinals, and I don't know which quarterfinal they're going to be on, so I'll buy tickets for all 4 days. Guess what year they didn't make it to quarters?
And you know who helped them with that? I believe they were in LGD's group back when they were one of their first Worlds appearances. But yeah.
But if that's the best thing that comes out of it, you know, it's not a great movie franchise then, is it? Gotta think about it. Gotta think about it. Anyway, we can finally stop podcasting. Maybe we'll make it a real thing at some point as I start trying to defend my my takes. But
as someone who owns a lightsaber, be careful. Be careful.
I mean, I'm miles away from you at the moment. Maybe every moment I'm not running, you're getting closer though.
I'm just gonna post your address in DMs. They're gonna be like, so Sheen, how's that going?
Absolutely. But yes, coming back into this one here, obviously we did have a slight delay. Hopefully we'll actually going to quickly check with my production team to see what the actual delay was. Here it is. Technical issue. They're going to remake Champion Select and obviously same picks and bans. There was obviously a slight issue
they've
there.
done that now.
Yeah, they've done that.
We could have done that during the pause. We decided there was much better things to do with life, universe, and everything.
I wanted to attack the Star Wars fandom instead. That's more fun for me.
Yeah. But then if you had like 3 other people then attacking in the same way, would that also be Attack of the Clones? The cloned opinions, at least.
Moving forward,
you don't have to laugh. It's okay. I know it was funny.
We're going to ignore that comment. But coming back into this one here, Shanji is going to get a nice little ward on the blue to make sure they have perfect vision of where IG are going to be setting themselves up. And again, we got to set up this bot lane to be very much a little bit of a snooze fest. Both bot laners agree. It's a long sword start for On. It's a cold start for Abel. They're in it for the long haul. They know they're not really going to be looking to fight until those first items of the Immortal Shield, both for Zeri and of course the Gale Force for the Aphelios. So outside of that, where do you expect us to see, you know, action to be happening in the first 10 minutes of this game?
First 10 minutes, that's a pretty large window of time because that also includes Herald as well. That will be a very interesting objective to track because that's when you see your first big ultimates of the game normally being used. But before that, when we're looking at the lanes, I really think anything which sticks in this top lane is going to weigh double. Any gold going over to Shanji allows him to maybe outplay a Galio dive, maybe outplay Gideon visiting his lane. And of course, on the other side, YSKM, if he becomes a split push threat, that really gives a lot of problems to OMG later into that game. So, with all that said and done, top lane, if there are any options, really where I'd like to see IG visit first.
This is the skill matchup that we've been talking about. It's all about that riposte. It's all about how he's able to kind of maybe get that dunk. I've seen it so many times where someone's able to riposte the slam dunk. Definitely something you got to be very, very aware of, is now they know exactly where the enemy jungler is, and maybe Aki's thinking, I can get a little bit of a steal coming out here. We are going to see a bit of a contest coming out. They're going to go for a smite. Fight is secured by the Lee Sin. Gideon just has to back himself away. He can't really walk forward onto this, and that means he's going to have to give up that Creme. So a little bit of a camp lead. Doesn't mean the biggest thing in the world, but gold to Aki and pressure for OMG.
But this is completely fine from Aki. He doesn't care that he's missing out on a quadrant of his jungle right now. He's still level 3, he still has a red buff, able to fight the enemy jungler, and it allows Shanji to push in his first wave crash of the game. It means that Shanji is not punished very early into the game. IG, we asked them to go top. Aki does a really good job of shielding Shanji from what could have been the first timestamp where Gideon could have affected his lane.
You see the benefits of having that Sejuani at the top side means that can start proxying. They don't really feel threatened right now. Speaking of being threatened, Link is a bit far ahead of the rest of his team for the moment. They do get a little bit of a push in. They're going to go very aggressive here. Look to try and get this one here. They won't land the Q. PP God gets his stun down. Now IG very far forward. They have to grab it up. It's a 3-man stun. Huge for OMG. They're going to be able to burn off so many of these cooldowns. They're not able to go for it just yet. The flash away, as we can see now, they're going to be Creme going forward for the first blood, and 2 more kills. OMG are getting everything from this. IG, he just needed to leave bot lane alone.
Oh, you can see the angle. If just one more key, Lee Sin Q, hits in the right place, that is huge for them. Hang on. PP God is going to get out safe there, but Abel gets the right weapon combination to be utility for the early damage. He has the Infernum, and he has, of course, the Graviton here. That root will be so clutch after this point. Goes through the rest of his rifle ammo, which allows him to go into the AoE weapon, that Infernum, plus the Dust Wave, into the Binding Eclipse, and that just puts IG on the retreat. If this Lee Sin can't be executing someone right at the start of this fight, things go from bad to worse. Serious overstep or overcommittal from IG. As soon as that play goes badly, they need to find a way out, but stay too long.
I mean, this is devastating for IG as well, because you're looking at it from a point of view of like, that bot lane's now a little bit further ahead. You lost all your summoners pretty much across the board, apart from Dove's flash. So your whole playmaking ability with these level 6s coming up for your solo laners and even your jungler, it's just not going to be there right on time when you need it. And Creme comes out not exactly super far ahead at the moment, but having that kill, getting him closer to that Immortal Shield bow is just going to be so much.
Yeah, and you know, secondary from all of this, arguably the most important thing are the 2 players which aren't even involved in that fight, which we see again. Shanji just pushed in another wave towards that top side. Shanji is just about to hit level 6. YSKM has flash, but Shanji, if he hits 6 off of this wave, YSKM could be in real danger here.
Yeah, very much be in danger there. Both Level 6 issues. YSKM has to use that to stop Shanji from aggressing. That was it. That wasn't him trying to look for a kill. That was him saying, Grand Challenge is down, do you want to fight me?
Yeah. Again, much like that first game, mostly that first game, OMG, very calm and collective, very understanding of where they're winning on the map, where they don't have to overforce. They're going to get themselves dragging on that bot side. Shanji is doing more than fine in this top side, which is very dangerous from IG. IG, with this draft on paper, you expect them to be heading towards top side. If you're going into a Darius, who is very comfortably at items and numbers of gold, that's going to be very difficult for them to achieve.
See with the Graviton coming in, they're just putting down some decent damage. God takes an unfavorable trade, unfortunately, for himself there. But remember, no flashes for this IG bot lane. Without the Glacial Prison, is very difficult to make something really stick here in the spot side. You want to try and combo that up with maybe a Q or even an AoE stun from God, but this is exactly what they want to do. They've got themselves the CS lead. They're pushing themselves on the tower. And remember, the call was started by Abel, so Abel's the one who's actually going to be a little bit further ahead in terms of the item spike. See, YSKM, he's just not able to walk forward onto this.
So the thing about the cold start, or something like the Aphelios, is when you cold start on an AD character, see this saw this on Caitlyn a lot way back in the day. Because you can go for the rune cut down, cold doesn't give you any HP, which means you die quicker, but you don't actually lose that much damage, especially once you get your first base after that point as well. So Abel, very happy with how he's doing at this point in the game. As soon as you capture that cold, of course, you get a lot of value out of that as well. OMG, they're ready to just absolutely kick off this game. Once they get to that first item, IG need to be very, very afraid. Once again, it feels like they're now at a point where they haven't reached the early game advantages in the right places to make themselves feel at home. You're not ahead on the Fiora, you're not ahead on the Oisin, you don't have your big combo up and running. OMG feels like they're just running back game one, very similar style.
Yeah. God just touching the tower. It's like tip the can. I tipped the can. I can't be caught anymore, but do you ever play tip the can? Do you ever play tip the can?
No.
Oh what? My God, is that an Irish thing? Oh my God, I'm finding out so many things.
You tell me,
like,
I don't know.
Tip the can was like, you had like, everyone was hiding. So the kid would be one person who would like count. It's like hide and seek, but basically the way the hiders win is by not getting seen or caught, and they have to go and like touch the place at which like the person was hiding. That's the can. So it's usually like a pole or something or a tree. That's the tip the can.
That is fascinating. No, absolutely nothing. We do have a Herald coming up. That's probably the next place to force play at this point. Next big ultimate coming through. Creme caught.
Yeah, he is caught a little bit, but I don't know if they want to go for this one right now. They are going to try get something there, but Aki playing great defense there away from Gideon, not able to let him get in position to get that Dragon's Rage kick. And Creme just loses his ultimate, so doesn't lose much else off of that play.
Creme does lose a little bit of HP. That is important. Of course, he can't be the big engage factor, but very interested in what weapon Abel's going to cycle through to next. If he ends up going towards the Crescendum and he gets that onto turret, that means that plate's going to absolutely shred up at this point. I think if OMG can just stably hold a 4v4, they're very happy. Gideon needs to force the play because in a 1v1, Velos will be getting plates in this bot side.
Aki looking to try and be a nuisance here in the Rift Herald pit. Soon to be Baron pit. As we see now, OMG starting to push down towards the spot side. Remember, Shanji has been running Ghost, so he can run people down. 20 CS up again. We're looking at a 2,000 gold lead at 10 minutes and only just those 2 kills. Yeah. So little by little, bit by bit, you can see OMG just making the most out of their advantages. And with Wing kind of having to stay here at all times, I mean, it's hard. He doesn't really have that same impact as something like an Annie because, oh, they're going to look for the kickback. They're going to drown it on the Shanji there to try and kill him off, get him killed before anything else can happen. He hasn't done it yet, and he gets the healing as well. The Grand Challenge is good, but not good enough. And now you've used all of your initiation. Nobody has guide. They want more from this. They're going to get the flash there out of Aki, but now the Aphelios in the bot side gets to play PvE, and you've gained nothing from it.
IG, they're not quick enough to find the play, and they're not quite decisive enough when they find their timing mark. They don't get themselves the Herald, they don't get themselves the pick, and as you're saying, they're leaving this Aphelios alone with his bot side and stacking up his call. He's going to take down multiple plates in that bot side. OMG, once again, getting everything they want out of this phase of play, not really giving anything over in return.
No, they're not, and even Dove is losing that fight in the bot side. The Rift Herald has been started, and now On and Wink are
Creme
kind of
has ult
separated
again.
away. They're going to get themselves a little bit of an ult, and he takes a fair bit of damage before he goes back to his soul revet. They're going to try and finish off this kill. They need to get something here. There's the fake deal. Not going to land on the On, who does get the lightning crash. There is Wink with the quickness. Aki taking so much damage. Will he finally go down? He hasn't dropped just yet. There it is. This is a 4v4 right now.
Shanji.
The dunks are coming in. Shanji looking for resets. Doesn't quite get the first one. As On does go down as well. Gideon looking for something with the double kill to Creme. Now Wink's in a hell of a lot of trouble. No mana, no health bar, and nowhere to go.
IG, they take a bit of a tourist trip. They take the scenic route to see what the heck OMG we're going to do around that Herald. They don't find the play, and they are the ones which are run down towards the end of it. While all this is happening, Abel captures out Cull, gets plates on the bot side, gets himself his first item after this point. This play is so lethargic, it's so slow from IG. Creme has his ult back up by the end of this play. He has it. He's going to start this off. Remember, this started with a pick onto Creme in the mid lane. Not quite leading to a kill, but forcing his ult out. And despite not having Ghost or Flash at this point onto Shanji, which was again an earlier act of this play, he's more than happy to go through because he still has his ultimate. YSKM goes down, and he's not at the point of power to force this play on his own. And OMG, it feels like again they are looking at IG and just knowing they have more tools to play with. And IG, they're lacking so much inspiration in this series.
And the crazy thing as well about that play is that, yes, Shanji doesn't get the resets on the Noxie and Guillotine, but it doesn't matter because he gets the resets on the build, on the bleed. He's full stacked on every single person there because they're just not able to try and deal with him. And again, 2-0-2 onto Shanji, 3-0-3 onto Creme. These guys are massive. And then you look back towards bot lane where Abel wasn't even a part of that whole thing. He was literally chilling on his own. He's got a full Gale Force, and he's got himself 3 plates as well.
And what does that gold mean onto Creme and Shanji in particular? Yeah, so about this whole combo where you're flying forward with Fiora, keep thinking this is YSKM. The Fiora, the Lee Sin, the Galio on the top. A little bit. It's just so much harder to shut them down. They're trying to find the picks.
They're trying to go for it, but there's still good damage back here. Gideon not quite able to survive after it. They do trade back 1-for-1, but Abel's not gone, and Abel's got the shock crumbs. Gets himself another kill. The Q is not going to land, but it is 2-for-1, and you can see IG, they're already at desperation stations. This is just starting to become harder and harder, more and more difficult, and there's just nothing they can really do. They need to find a miracle.
Yeah, Abel needs to rename himself to Kane. He's becoming the original murderer in this bot side double kill. Shanji looking for blood on the top side.
I mean, he's got Ghost. There's no Flash here. He's looking for more. He's got the dump, but he's not got the stacks. They just got off him there. He almost was able to make it work, but that's the power of the Darius, and also why we see the Fiora skill matchup work so well. Can make those kills happen, but let's have a look at this here, because again, it's IG looking for this fight.
It's them looking for it, and in fairness, the gold is not here. The solo lane is not at this play, but despite PP God being taken down very early into this, he gets the Ignite down, gets his ultimate down, and you've walked into the rifle turrets. Caliber and Crescendum is one of the most destructive combos in the game for Aphelios. It's actually his highest DPS combo because it allows him to get all of these auto-attack resets. And 3 health bars evaporate as soon as Abel comes into the play. And now, not only do you have solo lane, 202s, 303, Abel has joined them there as well. IG, they've thrown several ill-advised plays to OMG, and now OMG are completely flying off the races.
Yep, 5,000 gold lead. Items completed across the board. The funny thing is for Shanji in that top side, he went for that fight against YSKM without finishing off the Stride Breaker. If he had that, that's definitely a kill. So
imagine if it were
imagine he had a real weapon. Unfortunately, Jax was banned in both these games today. Series. But yeah, OMG is looking so much more comfortable, and I see they're floundering. They're rushing into things. They're trying to see if they can find something. And the funny thing is that they wanted that bot lane play to try and maybe drop the Rift Herald to get some plates, but the plates are now gone. The kick has to be used just to make sure that Shelly gets to bop her head. That's how badly IG need things to go their way.
So putting a second Herald onto a full health outer mid lane turret, normally the reason that's valuable is that the enemy team can't leave that lane, otherwise that tower goes down. That tower is still 2/3 HP, and OMG, they're pushing in all lanes. They have so much gold on all of their carries. IG, that second Herald, which you just wasted your Lee Sin ult for, that you just grouped up mid for, realistically, that's going to achieve very little. IG now, what they have to look for is somehow, someway, getting a huge Galio combo onto, I'm going to have to say, it's probably either PP God or Abel, those are the two which don't have insane survivability at this point, and you have to kill them in the duration of the CC. Creme, you can't fight this Yone anywhere on the map right now.
Nope. Gideon recognizes he's probably not going to die, but he's definitely going to have to pay a hell of a lot of his health bar just to get those Krugs. As Gideon then moves back forward again. Got an opportunity here for OMG. Yeah,
they
Aki
win this 2v3, by the way.
I'm in this 3v3 as well, because PP God was off to the side. He'll have Flash to try and maybe put himself in a good position, but everyone backs themselves away, and we haven't even really been able to talk about it. But OMG, they've also got themselves the lock on all the objectives right now. Yes, they lost a Rift Herald, but it didn't even any plates, so no immediate gold really getting from that. And they've got 2 dragons with a minute 30 for the third.
And OMG, with play like this, which is so confident, very calm and collected, this gives them so much kind of confidence from me looking at them, saying, you know, despite them being 3 and 4, you know, they haven't really played out their first round robin just yet. In fact, this is, well, not first round robin, the first half of their split. They're getting towards it with this series, actually. They're a team, if they're looking towards playoffs, IG are a team which are going to be of a similar caliber to them, a similar finishing point with the terms of their series score. This is a big game for OMG to put themselves into conversation for doing well in playoffs.
Yeah. Creme and YSKM kind of going for something. Gideon was on a ward, so Creme knows exactly where this Lee Sin is and knows exactly what he's trying to do. You can see Aki saying, okay, cool. Bet. You want to try and get this going for yourself? You want to try and go and make this play happen? They're going to try and look for him. They are going to find him. Gets the kick, but it's not good enough. He flashes, but now you can see there that PP God's cut off to the side. Abel trying to put in huge damage, but not able to get anything going right now. The taunt is decent, and this is a good fight at the moment, but look at the shackles, look at the healing. You've got red, white, let's fight, and they look for more and more. They get themselves 1. They're looking for 2 as Abel. It's just a walking turret right now. He's doing so much for this team, and yeah, Wink, you ain't getting out of this one alive, buddy. You're gonna have to try and figure out something else because he is darting around the damage. Oh, he walked into it. They now know where he is, and he's just going to be caught out, killed off. Nothing more to be said about it. Soul going over, or Soul Point going over to OMG. And again, I don't like calling it too early, but this game feels done.
Oh, it feels so done. OMG, they have the early gold. They've hit their 1-eye power spike. IG, they haven't pulled off a successful engage combo the entire game so far. They don't have the vision control to make this desperation play. And somehow, in the midst of this, Abel pops Ghost, stacks up the Jacksons with his the Crescendo ultimate, gets them very, very quickly stacked up. He pops Ghost, and he is seeing Ghost in the rest of this fight. These health bars are completely shredded. You know, we were talking about, you know, the caliber of Crescendo, the rifle turret. Yeah, that's a great combo. When you add the Severum in to start stacking up on top of all of these, Abel, oh my word, what a great fight from this Aphelios.
And the funny thing is that even if IG banned all the same AD carries in game 1 into game 2, they didn't ban Aphelios. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This guy is proving that he's got a wealth of champions that he can pull out at any time, any place. And now with the Infinity Edge, now he...
Yeah, it gets worse, Shane.
It gets worse.
It gets worse. I know, you look at over the other side, and again, in both of these games, IG, they set themselves a bit of a timer with the compositions in their draft they came out of. And they haven't hit those timers. They haven't hit that time window. OMG, very calmly playing through their power spikes. And this is something that we have seen an awful lot in the LPL. We haven't always seen this in the rest of the world, but OMG have picked combos. RA or another team which does this very well, actually, come to think of it in the LPL, where they just know that if they hit a certain point in the game, that is when it's their time to fight. They know their team fight combos, they know their power spikes, and they are very ruthless at playing through them. Once again, OMG, very few deaths to their names, and none of those deaths are on their carries. Their carries are always doing good damage, they're always in a position to do damage. OMG, they're now at a point where they can start crushing through the next few objectives. Baron is live, Soul Point for them on the Hexatech Rift. We haven't even talked about that because honestly, Soul hasn't felt like the win condition. Killing the enemy champion has been enough so far. OMG have all options available for them to play out the next few minutes. They have a second Herald put down to force the issue as well.
Yeah, second Herald to try and go for the story. You can't defend this, and you're going to have to back yourselves away plenty of damage available to the side of OMG to really kind of force this. They may get a second one. You know what? Hell, they might even get a third if they really wanted it, because there is just nobody stopping Shelly right now. And with red and white guns, you can't walk into this. Gideon tries to find something on the backside, but 3 tower hits for Shelly as Creme starts to go hunting. He's thinking, I smell someone in the back end of this fight. There is Dove getting caught up there by the Glacial Prison as Aki kind of backs himself away. YSKM, honestly, I agree with this play. You're probably thinking, oh, why is he not with his team? Why is he not helping defending? What's he going to do? Nothing. He might as well get some gold for his team.
Yeah, and you get engaged on as Rakan though. That's going to be a very dangerous part. At least IG aware of the fact that, oh, Ellen's going into something.
God does have flash in a couple of seconds, turns it back, gets the cleanse out, hasn't used it just yet. You can see them just looking for anything. Fate Seal gets dropped on the YSKM as he's found Creme, and Creme's taking a hell of a lot of damage. The Fate Seal not going to be able to save him. Gideon just gets himself away. Good ultimate though from Abel, and he turns it right back around. Abel is a one-man army, and Abel is saying you can kill everybody else. I do not care, because I am Aphelios, and I have 200 years of Game 10 experience.
He becomes an absolute chainsaw. So many Jackrams. Gideon trying to find some miracle seal, but he's got so little HP to do it with.
He's got so little HP, but it's only Aki who's gone in after him. He needs to be in the pit. He needs to be going to go for it. The executed. Finally, they get the lead down, but they haven't been able to take down the Baron. You need to get back to the pit, Aki. Finally, he does. The slide comes in a little dodgy right there, not going to lie. And now on. It's hit there by the Stride Breaker, but buffers it very, very nicely. The Ghost is good. Flash away, he's still hunting you, he's still pushing you. Ooh, not able to get the apprehend. Dove there to make sure nothing else happens off it. But great fights coming out from OMG. And honestly, similar to game number 1, they are good. It feels like they're leagues ahead of IG right now.
They've set themselves up for so much success that IG have to get desperate. And they get desperate once again into awesome DPS from Abel. He puts down the rifle turrets once more, and IG are completely eviscerated by them. So that's Baron down. This is reset. They get to spend their gold OMG. Now they get to go towards a soul fight as well. IG, they can't afford to send YSKM to split over this objective. He has to come to the fight. If you lose a Hextech soul, game's effectively over. It's the strongest soul in the game right now. Shanji on a side lane. Maybe IG can look for a pick on the side, just pack someone out of position, but they've tried that before and failed. Don't really see what's going to be going more in their favor this time.
Well, they have to fight. This is Hexol. Hexfall on Aphelios? I don't think you can allow that. You have to go for something. You need to try salvage this game. You know, better to go out in a blaze of glory than to lose by a death of 1,000 cuts, in my opinion. You can see Creme moving forward, trying to stop the reeling, only engaged or wink from making something happen. Now the Dragon goes down. That is secured. They're going to be able to see Creme just keeping 2 of them at bay. Abel is already shredding Hellfires. They're going to get the kick off. Everyone's dead. No one shall survive. Double kill for Creme. Triple for the Yone. And OMG will 2-0 IG. And they will put themselves as firm playoff hopefuls as we move into the second half of the split.
That is absolute execution. OMG took the head off the snake in this one. And IG, they tried to play towards a bit more comfort towards YSKM in the second game, but it was to no avail. OMG, they out-team fight, they out-think, they out-trap. They take down the Series 2-0.
2-0. Great showing here for OMG, and I'm starting to have some very large existential questions for IG right now. This is no longer becoming a question mark about whether or not they're good enough. And I'm starting to think will they even make playoffs, because we're looking at quite the loss streak coming out here right now. 4 games in a row that they have lost. They lost to Top Esports, through JDG, Weibo, all fantastic teams. Now OMG, that could start to affect your mental. You need to bring this back up, and against